So the Ravens easily over the Dolphins, who were just awful last night, and we'll talk about them a little later. But we showed you that the ESPN Bet Sportsbook loves the Ravens in the division. Our analytics like the Ravens. I don't know that they love them. This is sort of, I mean, I'm not sure they're ready to marry them, but they like them at least. They're ready to go out on another date with them. And as you pointed out, that is largely because people aren't buying into the Steelers. You gave me a very good phrase this morning, Bart, for what most people think of Pittsburgh.
They're paper champions, right? They haven't played a lot of hard opponents. And listen, the way their defense is playing, they can't beat anybody that can punch back, right? And you look at last week, giving up 360 yards to Jordan Love. They can't stop the run. They can't stop the pass. This is supposed to be this is the most expensive defense in the NFL, and you're 28th in the league. So I think that they still have to play the Ravens twice later in the season.
Right.
And they have a real viable opponent in front of them this week. Maybe the best slept on and the most slept on, opponent in the AFC in the Colts.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that. I want to talk about the Colts. I made this point yesterday because they haven't played, largely because I think, A, the world didn't see them coming.
Yep.
B, because of the way their schedule has shaped up. They're never in the big glamour spots, right? They're not in that 425 window. They haven't been in prime time. So I don't think the world knows them. So you might be surprised to hear this. Cindy, let's do C6. The Colts' average cover margin is 10.8 points per game. Let me make it clear. That's not what the point spread is. That's how much they are surpassing in their wins what the number was. It is the best through 8 games in the entire Super Bowl era. Look at the teams below them. The 99 Rams, the greatest show on turf, who no one saw coming.
Right.
The 2019 Ravens, when Lamar went insane, no one saw coming. Joe, this team has been this is terrible English, even more better than we thought they were going to be.
Shout out Northwestern.
Right, than they were. So what does that mean? You are the gambling expert. What does it mean?
Every team is assigned a power ranking. That's how we create spreads. If Bart's power ranking is an 80 and Harry's a 78, Bart -2 against Harry. You take in home field and all that other stuff, but essentially that's how you create a number. The power rating for the Colts coming into the season was obviously low based on what we've seen from them so far. The adjustments throughout the course of the year haven't necessarily kept up. To use a college analogy, back in 2019, something similar happened with LSU and Joe Burrow. The number just couldn't get high enough as the Tigers just kept blowing everyone out. Clemson, Georgia, Oklahoma, when we got to the playoffs. The thing here is, when does the market correct itself? That's what you want to be on the lookout for, and it's going to come soon, because as good as the Colts have looked, they've beaten up on who? Tennessee twice. The Denver game was a leverage penalty. They caught the Chargers when they were banged up. It's not to take anything away from the Colts, but that defense is vulnerable. They're going to get exposed at some point. The reckoning's coming. It just hasn't come yet.
I think to Joe's point, there's skepticism because they're the Scott Hansen special. What does that mean? You watch them on Red Zone.
Right.
There's 8 different games at 1 o'clock. You get a cool play. No one has watched them wire to wire. If you are watching them, I think the similarities to the 99 Rams aren't that far off. Yeah. They have all these weapons. They came from out of nowhere, and Daniel Jones has a Kurt Warner-like story where no one would have ever expected this. Now the schedule gets a little tougher. Now they're not sneaking up on anybody. We'll see if they're for real.
Here's the wins, Harry, as I give it to you. They beat the Dolphins. They won the Denver game on that leverage penalty. They beat the Titans. They lost to the Rams. They beat the Raiders, the Cardinals, the Chargers, the Titans again, and now they get the Steelers.
And I think they're going to be okay because they are the most balanced football team that we have in the National Football League. They can run it, they can pass it, and I think their most prized possession outside of Jonathan Taylor is their rookie tight end, Tyler Warren.
He's so
25 of 37 catches that he has right now have been for first downs. He's their leading receiver when you talk about yardage. He's a guy that can play H-back. He can play fullback. He can, extend in the slot. He can be attached to the line of scrimmage. He can be a single receiver or single tight end on the opposite side of a 3-by-1 formation. He is the jack of all trades, and he's making his hay in this offense.
But you like the Steelers with the points in this game.
Buy low, sell high. No one wants anything to do with Pittsburgh. Everyone's in love with Indianapolis. Tough road spot here. Mike Tomlin as a dog has been successful throughout his career, although that blew up in our face last week. Look at this. This is a smaller bet. Let's be very clear about that.
All right, I like the game. And once again, it's a 1 o'clock Scott Hansen special. The point that he's making. All right, let's do the Schrager 5.
Go to the Octobox.
Peter picks 5 people or 5 teams or 5 something or other to spotlight for us. And this week it's just 5 players that we should be paying close attention to as Week 9 continues this weekend. Take it away, Peter.
Jaden Daniels is number 5. Jaden Daniels, if they lose again, they have more losses than they had last year. Like, it is an insane thing that's happening with Washington based on expectations, yet Jaden will be back in the lineup starting in a Sunday night spot against the Seahawks. Can Jaden Daniels get this team and rise them above all of the injuries and all of the issues they have had? Number 4, I'm going with a player we were just talking about, Jonathan Taylor. We're talking MVP, first time it would happen since 2012 for a running back, but it's even more than that. How do you stop him when Daniel Jones is doing what he is? Pittsburgh's defense has been susceptible. I think Jonathan Taylor could have a huge game. Number 3, Drake May, the Patriots. 5 straight wins, Greeny. Is this for real? They play an Atlanta team. Is this a trap game? Drake May, no longer are they going to be sneaking up on anybody. Everybody's watching him, and the question has gone from Jaden or Caleb to Jaden or Drake in that draft class. Number 2, what else can we say? Josh Allen. Hey, it's the Chiefs. I know it's the regular season. You've had success there. A loss for the Bills raises a lot of questions about this team moving forward. New England, right there, if not ahead of them, on their heels. And number 1, to me, a story that probably we're not even talking enough about. What the heck are we getting from this guy? I don't know. J.J. McCarthy is going to start for the Vikings on Sunday. They play a very good Lions team, and they're doing so with injuries across the offensive line. But if you talk about all the quarterbacks that went in that draft, and you know them well, and all the quarterbacks that were in that quarterback room last year, including Darnold and Daniel Jones, they chose this guy, and they are all in on this guy. Greeny, I don't know who this guy is.
Well, that's the point. And they must think they do, right? They made huge decisions this offseason, and we have gone over it time and again here. They decided to let Sam Darnold walk. They didn't keep Daniel Jones. They didn't get interested in the Aaron Rodgers conversation, which they could have. So J.J. McCarthy. Peter has made the point multiple times here that whether it's fair or not, life is not fair. Football is certainly not fair. There's as much pressure on J.J. McCarthy right now as there is practically any player in the league. Is he ready for it, do you think, Sunday against the Lions?
He should be, but here's the thing. I'm also going to put some of this on head coach and offensive play caller Kevin O'Connell.
Yeah.
Because you have a young quarterback that's coming off injury. You have injuries to your offensive line. You're going against a Detroit Lions front 7 that is 5th right now in the National Football League in sacking the quarterback. So the first thing you better do is make sure that your quarterback is protected. You better be able to run the football with Jordan Mason and also Aaron Jones. And thirdly, you better change the launch point for your quarterback. So if you have to do sprint outs, utilize naked bootlegs, but just don't have him sit back there in that pocket so he can be a rag doll and be a pinata, in my opinion.
What do you think, Bart?
I think they're wasting Justin Jefferson's prime. I mean, listen, they took a big gamble by going with a first-year starter with all the things that they pushed. They pushed all this.
Steelers Nation, get ready, because we might be witnessing a pivot point. A game-changing move is floating out there, and it's one that could redefine this season for Pittsburgh. We're talking about the possibility of Jakobi Meyers joining the Steelers, a player who ticks so many boxes for a team that has so many holes to fill. You feel it in your gut when you see a name like this linked to your squad. You sense it in the chatter. You hear it in the corridors of the organization. This might not just be a trade, it might be a signal. Let me set the scene. Pittsburgh enters the mid-season stretch with Aaron Rodgers at quarterback, high expectations, yet the offense has lacked consistency beyond explosive plays. The receiver room has been light on reliability. DK Metcalf brings power and big play potential, but beyond that, the depth is thin and the finishing is inconsistent. Analysts have pointed out that what the Steelers really need is a security valve for Rodgers, someone who can run reliable intermediate routes, make the tough third down catch, keep chains moving. That's where Jakobi Meyers comes in. According to multiple reports, the Steelers are among the teams doing due diligence, exploring trade possibilities for Meyers from the Las Vegas Raiders. Why does Meyers matter? Because he offers a profile that fits what Pittsburgh lacks right now. He's not simply a speed burner who only makes splash plays. He's got route precision, dependable hands, experience moving the chains. He can operate inside and outside. He can align in the slot or out wide, something Rodgers could leverage to keep defenses off balance. He had his breakout in 2024 with 87 catches, 1,027 yards, 4 touchdowns. He is also reportedly open to a trade. The Raiders have fielded calls from the Steelers and others. Now imagine this. Pittsburgh makes the move. Meyers suit up in black and gold. He slides next to Metcalf and others. Rodgers, knowing where Meyers likes to be, drops in passes where others hesitate. Third down conversions climb. Play action works better because the defense can't just key on Metcalf. The offense becomes less predictable and more efficient. That is the potential here, and Steelers Nation can feel it. But let's be honest, there are hurdles. The price, the timing, the assimilation. The article that inspired this narration points out that the Steelers would need to be careful. They want to preserve future flexibility rather than surrender premium picks just to grab a receiver for half a season. The article explains that Pittsburgh isn't necessarily looking for a blockbuster, but a strategic, measured upgrade. They want a partner for Metcalf, someone who can fill WR2/3 roles, not necessarily a number one takeover. The risk: Meyers must assimilate quickly, build chemistry with Rodgers in a short window. The reward? Unlocking a fuller, more balanced offense. According to ESPN and other trade deadline coverage, Meyers is among the more likely receivers to be moved, and Pittsburgh is listed among contenders exploring the receiver market. Now, here's the emotional part, Steelers fans. This is about us. It's about believing that our front office hears the urgency. It's about knowing that Rodgers doesn't just want big plays, he wants consistency. It's about the wisdom that championships are built not just on big-time splashes, but on smart additions. When your rival defenses are tough, when your own defense is giving up yards, you don't just need bombs, you need drives. Meyers could give you drives when every yard, every third down, every 5-yard completion matters. Picture this: the Steelers, 4-3, in a division where they can't rest on reputation, the Ravens breathing down the neck, the Colts, Browns, everyone's watching. If the Pittsburgh wants to get serious, if they want to finish strong rather than just compete, then this is the move. And when you switch from compete to contend, the message has to be loud. We are doing more. We are making moves. We are crossing the line. And so here we are, at the moment of decision. Will the Steelers do it? Will they pull the trigger and secure Jakobi Meyers? Will they give Rodgers the weapon he needs? Will they send a signal to the locker room and the fan base that they believe? Or will they wait, hope the young receivers develop, hope that the big play just comes organically, and risk falling behind? My belief? Yes, they will do it. Because everything about this feels right. The need, the fit, the timing. The cost may not be huge. The payoff could be immediate. The chemistry already exists, or at least the foundations of it do. The front office appears willing. The fan base demands it. The moment is now. So Steelers Nation, I'll leave you with this. Get excited, because this potential move is more than just a name. It's more than just a trade rumor. It's a statement. A statement that the Steelers aren't just waiting for the season to play out. They're aiming for something greater. And if Meyers does come here and clicks, we're going to look back and say, that was the moment this offense turned the corner. Now I want to hear from you. Do you believe Jakobi Meyers will be the missing piece for Pittsburgh? Do you think Rodgers will benefit from the added reliability? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Hit that like button if you believe this move could make us contenders. And don't forget to subscribe to Steelers Nation Wire for the latest trade updates, locker room analysis, and everything black and gold. Because this ride is far from over, and with moves like this, it might just get very, very exciting.